right, thanks, guys. We made it out alive yesterday, not buying the hook. We did not get burned once, so we're going to go ahead and move into day 2 of being hookless. Actually, I think I gave a name to it. Hook Watch. We did not lose by a half a point yesterday. So we're going to keep that trend going and continue to not buy the hook. We also had an excellent day in the NBA yesterday. If you want to take a look at that, just take a look at yesterday's videos. One of my best days I've ever had. And we had an incredible day on Patreon, an 80% day on Patreon as well. But let's go ahead and get into Saturday's action. We're going to begin with the afternoon, the noontime game, and that is Sacramento at the New York Knicks. Now, that's a 12 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Madison Square Garden. That's a 9 o'clock a.m. game for Sacramento. Unbelievable. It's going to be a tough one. See if those guys can get their stingers up. But anyway, Sacramento open -5, total 228. And I guess the markets must know how early it is for the Kings because we're seeing movement downward on the total. That moved down to 226.5. So once again, Sacramento open and remains -5. Total open 228 down to 226.5. 69% leaning towards Sacramento, 60% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Knicks are plus 175 on the money line. Now, Bagley's still out for Sacramento. Hazonius questionable for New York. Now the Knicks are 5-11 ATS in their last 16. They've also covered just 5 out of their last 21 on their home court. The Knicks rank last in field goal percentage. They're shooting just 43% in that category there. They're also covering just 30% of their games that tipped off at the current point spread. Now, Sacramento on the other side, completely different story. They're covering 83% of their games as the official road favorite. They're also covering 76% of their games when taking on teams under 450. The Kings rank 4th in the NBA in three-point shooting on the road, and they're also scoring 113.4 points per contest when traveling. Now, total-wise, Sacramento's 5-1 to the under in their last 6. The Knicks are 19-12 to the under in their games on their home court. I know it's a 9 o'clock game for them. I don't care. I'm taking the Sacramento Kings -5 and the under 226.5 in that matchup there. All right, guys, just want to take a quick time out and just welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Saturday's NBA, college basketball, and NHL action. Getting a little bit of a late start, but we're going to get the job done here and take care of you at least for the later games today. But anyway, before we go ahead and move on, just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. That is my website. We do daily plays every day. They're my personal plays. So, I don't custom tailor any parlays or give you picks if you ask my opinion. I simply just let you know who I have action on personally. But I also do a daily poll on that site. That's free for anyone to let me know who you think is going to win a particular game. And you can also see my current record. We went 4-1. We had a lot of plays. We went heavy on the plays yesterday, but we went 4-1 in those plays on that site. So certainly proud of that. But anyway, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. With all that said and done, let's go ahead and get back into some more lines and personal leans for Saturday's NBA, college basketball, and NHL action. It all starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we have Knicks, Hawks, 7 o'clock tip-off in Atlanta. Did I just say Knicks? Nets. Brooklyn Nets at the Atlanta Hawks, 7 o'clock tip-off in Atlanta. Brooklyn open 4.5, total 235. And since those markets opened that one up, we're seeing a steady fade of Brooklyn when it comes to the spread. We're also seeing movement upward on the total as well. That line moved up to 236.5. Total moved down to 3.5. Spread moved down to 3.5. Come on, Brock. Once again, Brooklyn open 4.5 down to -3.5. Total open 235 up to 236 and a hook. 64% of the consensus is leaning toward Brooklyn. 63% shaded toward the under. At the moment, the Hawks are plus 140 for some money line cash. Shabazz Napier is still out for Brooklyn. Graham is actually out with a back injury as well. Meanwhile, on the Atlanta side, Dedmon is doubtful and Spellman's still out indefinitely. Atlanta dropped 9 out of their last 10 straight up at home. They're also just 4-8 against the spread in that same category. Atlanta ranks last in points allowed in the NBA. and they also rank 27th in defensive field goal percentage. Now, Brooklyn is 7th in defending the three ball in the NBA. They're also 7-2 ATS in their last 9 on the road. Now, scoring-wise, Brooklyn's 3-0 to the under in their last 3 away from home. Atlanta 11-3 to the under in their last 14 taking on Brooklyn. If you're into historical trends, I'm going to lean toward the road favorite in this one. Give me Brooklyn -3.5 and the under 236 and a hook in that matchup there. Next game, Warriors Timberwolves. And I totally skipped that. I have no notes for that. I'm sorry, Wizards Timberwolves. That's why I didn't have any notes for that. I really, it was a late night last night, guys. If you can't tell, look like shit, feel like shit. But anyway, Wizards at the T-Wolves, 8 o'clock tip-off in Minnesota. T-Wolves are -7, total 242. 56% are leading Minnesota, 80% shaded toward the under. Right now, Washington is plus 245 on the money line. Washington has dropped 6 out of their last 9 straight up. They're also 1-5 straight up in their last 6 on the road. They rank dead last in road points allowed in the NBA. Now, Minnesota's 5-1 straight up in their last 6 at home. They rank 8th in the NBA in home offensive rebounding. And when it comes to the total, that number is really, really high. I'm leaning toward Minnesota -7 and the under 242 in that matchup there. Next game, Celtics, Lakers. 8:30 tip-off in Los Angeles. Boston open -4, up to -5. Totals 220.5. Lakers are plus 185 for some money line cash. Now, Kyrie is listed as probable for tonight's action. Meanwhile, on the Lakers side, a whole bunch of guys on that injury report. Chandler and Ball still out. And then Stevenson, Ingram, and Kuzma all listed as questionable for tonight's action. Now, the Lakers are just 2-8 straight up in their last 10. They have not covered a point spread in their last 7 games. 0-7 ATS in their last 7 ball games. Boston ranks 6th in three-point shooting on their side of things. They also rank 3rd from the stripe, and they are 6-3 straight up in their last 9. Now, total-wise, Boston's just 43% to the under in their games at the current posted total. Give me Boston -4.5 and the over 220.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Hornets, Bucks. 9 o'clock tip-off in Milwaukee. The Bucks open 11.5, total 227.5. We're seeing movement toward Milwaukee and movement toward the over. They're now -12, total 228. Once again, the Bucks open 11.5, up to -12, total 227.5, up to 228. 62% leaning toward Milwaukee, 59% shaded toward the over. Charlotte's plus 590 on the money line. Biyombo and Gilchrist are questionable for Charlotte. Milwaukee has Hill listed as doubtful. Milwaukee is 8-2 straight up in their last 10, 3-1 against the number in their last 4. They've also won 8 out of their last 9 on their home court, and they're averaging 120 points per contest at home. Now, Charlotte's just 1-6 against the number in their last 7, 2-4 ATS in their last 6 on the road. They've failed to cover an 8 out of their last 10, and they rank 28th in road offensive field goal percentage. Now, total-wise, Charlotte is 2-0 to the under in their last 2. Milwaukee 2-0 to the under in their last 2 themselves. Give me Milwaukee -12 and the under 228 in that matchup there. Next and final game for our NBA slate. It is going to be Phoenix at Portland. 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Rip City. Portland opened the betting as the 12-point favorite, total at 229. And since those markets opened that one up, no real surprises here as we're seeing money toward Portland at home. We're also seeing money toward the under in this matchup here, obviously thanks to Portland being in the game. But anyway, Phoenix, because Phoenix doesn't score a whole lot of points, although they've been doing pretty good in the past week. But anyway, let's stay focused here. Portland's now -12.5. Total moved down to 228. So once again, the Blazers open 12, up to 12.5. Total open 229, down to 228. 66% of the consensus is leaning toward Portland. 57% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Suns are plus 640 on the money line. Now, if you like the Suns in this spot here, it's going to be tough for you. They're just 5-28 straight up away from home this year. 13-20 ATS in that same category. They They rank dead last in offensive rebounding. They rank 29th in road points allowed. Now, Portland ranks 2nd in home offensive rebounding, 6th in home defensive rebounding. This isn't going to bode well for Phoenix tonight. They may not grab a rebound. Portland, 7-2 ATS in their last 9, 8-2 ATS on their home court in their last 10. And when it comes to the total, Phoenix is 4-2 the under in their last 6 on the road. They're also 8-3 the under in their last 11. Chalk, chalk, chalk. Give me Portland minus 12.5 in the under, 228 in that matchup there.